Did you ever notice how sometimes you open your phone and an hour is suddenly just gone? Sometimes you don't even remember what you just watched 30 seconds ago. You keep scrolling, even when it's not really fun anymore. So the question is, why can't we stop? I'm April Okierd. Welcome back to my channel. Today, I'm going to color a picture from my comic, Beautiful Mosaic of Losers, and we're going to discuss, why can't we just stop scrolling? I'd be completely lying if I said it doesn't happen to me. I mean, you're just fed an endless stream of videos, posts, memes, and comments. Back in the day, scrolling used to feel different. When you opened a browser and went on the internet, you usually had a goal. Maybe you were checking a forum. Maybe you were shopping on eToys, Circuit City, or Delia's. It could have also been to open some spammy e-card that your great-aunt Mary emailed to you. But now, you open an app and you're, instantly, inside a never-ending feed. Think about it. With some of these apps, there's no stopping point. Just more content. And more. And more? It's like a binge eater being constantly fed and enabled. The first reason I believe we can't stop scrolling is because we are given infinite feeds. When you scroll through YouTube Shorts, TikTok, etc., the feed just keeps going. This wasn't a format that existed years and years ago. You used to go on a website and you could only scroll so far until you reached the end of the page. You reached the bottom. And that was it. You could stop naturally because you got the information you were seeking to begin with. Modern apps removed that boundary though. Now the feed just keeps loading forever. Usually, there's not a stopping point. Humans are very good at stopping when something feels finished. A book has an end. A TV episode, or even a whole series, has an end. A level in a video game ends. But scrolling now never really ends. Therefore, your brain never gets that signal that it's time to stop. It's not just YouTube and TikTok though. Facebook is the same way. Even some online shopping websites are like that too. You never really achieve that satisfaction of finishing a defined period of scrolling and watching like you would when you reach the end of a book, for example. You know there is always something coming next. That leads into the second reason why I believe we can't stop scrolling. Remember that odd stereotype about the crazy old ladies going wild at the casino? They were always portrayed as being stuck on those slot machines, putting in coin after coin. It's the slot machine effect. When you put in the coin and pull the lever, you know you'll likely win something. You just don't know what it'll be. Scrolling also works a lot like a slot machine. When you scroll, you don't know what the next post will be. It could be boring and pointless, but it could also be something funny or thought-provoking. Each and every swipe basically gives you a random reward. It's spontaneous. Random rewards are incredibly powerful, which is something casinos figured out decades ago. If a reward is predictable, people lose interest because they know exactly what they'll get next. If a reward is unpredictable, people keep trying because, let's face it, the next scroll might be the good one. So when you think about it, every swipe becomes a little gamble for your brain. And your brain starts chasing that next hit of dopamine. The third reason is the most well-known one. Before I continue, if you've made it this far, please don't forget to like the video. It also helps us out tremendously if you subscribe. As I was saying, the third reason I think we can't stop scrolling is because of the algorithms. These platforms track everything. They track what you watch and for how long. They recognize what you like and what you skip. The system gets very good at predicting what will keep you engaged over time. Which means your feed slowly becomes perfectly tailored to your attention. It learns your sense of humor, your interests, your curiosities, and worst of all, your weaknesses. It's invasive, borderline predatory, and we completely allow it. We agree to terms and conditions, but do most of us ever really read them? I sure as hell don't most times. So every time you open the app, be it YouTube, TikTok, or any of the others, you're basically stepping into a feed designed specifically to keep you there. Because the longer you stay, the more ads you see. and the more money the platform makes. That's all there is to it. The fourth reason I believe we can't stop scrolling is because our brains are being trained to prefer short-form content. It has trained our brains to expect constant stimulation. When most videos last under a minute, your brain gets used to that glorious instant payoff. Something interesting must happen immediately, and if it doesn't, swipe, next, swipe, and on to the next. Over time, this can make slower content feel harder to focus on. Movies feel like they drag on forever. Books are even slower. Even normal conversations feel less stimulating than the endless feeds we get so focused on. And it's not because those things became worse, but because the pace of content online became extremely fast. On a personal note, this is what has been making content creation extremely draining, emotionally and mentally for me. I'm not good at an instant, in-your-face attention grabber. In fact, if you've even made it this far, drop some emoji in my comments. Something. Anything. My ability to focus on things seems to be getting worse by the day. As I'm editing this video right now, I'm having to fight the urge to get back on TikTok to see what's new and exciting. And going back to earlier reasons I discussed, I know exactly what kind of content I'll see when I log into the app. But here's the interesting part. Scrolling isn't addictive because we're weak. It's addictive because the system is designed to capture attention. You're given infinite feeds with random rewards. You get those personalized algorithms that provide constant stimulation. If someone was to build a machine specifically designed to keep humans engaged, it would probably look a lot like the apps on our phones. So the next time you catch yourself scrolling for way longer than you meant to, don't blame yourself. It might not be a lack of discipline. You just happen to be looking at one of the most powerful attention traps ever created. And the scary part is, it fits in your pocket. That pretty much concludes everything for this video, with just a few seconds more of shading and coloring. I hope you've enjoyed this video. I'm trying to get back into the swing of things after my hiatus, for lack of better terms. I know my banner says new content posted every Saturday, and I'm hoping to get back to that. Again, thank you so much for taking the time to watch and/or listen to this video. If you'd like to see more content like this, here are all the places I post content, some more often than others. See you in another one soon, friends.